Hi guys, greetings. I want to just compare two great pairs of, well, one headphones and one earphones, okay? So, I have the Bose QC25, right? Surely all around great noise cancelling earphones, and they are. They work very well, but they're not perfect. And I have the SONY MDR NC31, and these also work very well, and also they're not perfect, okay? So, to get into a little bit more detail, okay, I have the Bose about 1 year or more, and I paid, well, I got them on a sale in a local shop, 10% off. They were €269. But these normally retail generally for €299, €300 here in Ireland. And the Sony ones cost me €30. Okay, so big difference, right? Now, the Sonys will only work with certain Sony phones because of this 4-bar jack here, or I think they actually call it a 5-pole connector or something. But because of this, it'll only work with certain Sony phones and tablets. And I have the Z3 Compact, which I'm recording this video on, and I also have a Z3 tablet. So this system, these phones will work on those two devices. Whereas the Bose will work on any device, of course, that takes a 3-pole, 3-bar connector, and that's great. Now, the Bose work great. The noise cancellation is fantastic, but one problem with the Bose is they don't sound so good when they're not switched on. Okay, they sound okay, but they definitely sound better when they are switched on with the noise cancelling activated, and also apparently some sort of equalizer. It's also activated, okay? And another problem with the Bose, I find, despite the fact that they're supremely comfortable, and they're very, very comfortable. Lovely cushions here, and you can wear them for hours on end. But I find when the noise cancelling is on, there's a kind of a vacuumy type feeling, and you feel like your brain has been sucked out a little, and after about an hour or so it can become a little bit painful. You have to take a break, or I have to take a break. But sound quality and noise cancellation, both very good, and comfort is very good, and lightweight and portable, okay? And the fact that you just have to pop a battery in here somewhere is also very good. See there? Yeah. Standard AAA battery, okay? And that lasts ages, 30 hours or so. And, you can pick them up extremely cheap. Very handy if I'm going on a trip somewhere, I always bring an extra battery or two just in case. So, unlike other Bose systems, or other noise cancelling headphones, you don't have to charge up a battery pack. So that's good. And so that's all about the Bose. But for the price, they sound good. But these bad boys here, I tell you, they sound just as good. This is the thing. They sound just as good as the Bose in my ears anyway. And now, I'm not a real audiophile or whatever, but I like good sound, and I know good sound, and I have a lot of different types of earphones, Klipsch and Skull Candies, and, mainly lower end market stuff, really, stuff around the €30 mark, but and some of them sound pretty good. Klipsch, very good, but these sound great in my opinion. And the noise cancellation that comes with these through the device is not as good as the Bose would be. But I recently discovered these great foam tips I found in a drawer, and they were belonging to ETY Motic earphones from a few years ago I had. And I have a couple of pairs of these grey tips left over, and they'll actually fit quite snugly on the Sonys, and they improve noise isolation excuse me, and noise cancellation to no end. The sound is just fantastic. I've used these out walking and in the gym, and I've used them on a bus, but I haven't got to use them on a plane yet. That's the problem. But I reckon the way the bus I was on was noisy enough, and it really did drown down the sound. And this combination of great passive noise isolation, with the reasonable noise cancellation, works to produce a beautiful, quiet effect. And it's always been for years my dream, because I love going walking in the daytime, and I often walk by busy roads. Cars are whizzing by me, and if I'm wearing just sort of ordinary in-ear earphones with silicone tips, they drown out some of the sound, but I can always hear the cars whooshing by me, and it really annoys me. But since I got this set up there recently, these earphones are these great foam tips, with the whole thing running together and the music on, it's just practically silent around me. I can hear the occasional truck or car going fast, just barely whooshes by, just a bare whoosh or whisper of sounds that moves by me. And this is what I've always wanted. And also down in the gym, when I'm in the gym, they play terrible. There's a young management crowd there, and they play very awful light, but very loud pop music, the latest chart pop music, which I can't stand. I'm a bit old school, and I love rock music and alternative rock, and bands like Radiohead and singers like David Bowie and Iggy Pop, and etc., etc. Nine Inch Nails and other bands, right? But anyway, with this setup in my ears, playing through my phone, I'm able to reduce the sound in the gym. I make it sounds like a church, and that's with people working out in machines all around me, and treadmills running, and music playing, and a lot of noise in general. I'm able to reduce all that down to very little. You still hear some of it a bit, but with the music on and not having my music too loud, that's the main thing. I'm trying to protect my ears a bit. I don't have to have my music blaring. I'm able to have it all works out sweet with these headphones connected to the appropriate Sony devices. And I've got to say, I'm going to keep the Bose because, well, they're very comfortable and I like them. And they're great. The Bose are great also if you're out walking in the cold weather. Keep your ears warm, simple as. And that's great, But I can't use the Bose in warm environments or down the gym or anywhere, because I sweat a lot, and these will get sweaty and they're not comfortable. And I've seen other people with over-ear earphones in the gym, and it just doesn't work out for them. It's just sweating into the earphones. That's not good. The only downside to these is, with these tips on now, they stick out of my ears a bit further, but it's not really a problem. They stick out a bit further than they would with the standard tips that came with these, but the standard tips are just very uncomfortable. And I've tried other tips that are also uncomfortable. So the only thing that's worked out are these foam tips. And I'll put a link to those in the description if anyone's interested in getting those, because it really does. It gives you a €30 or $30 noise cancelling Sony unit. The performance and power of the Bose, really, in most situations. The Bose ultimately are a little quieter than the Sonys. I don't doubt that, but I can tell you that the Sonys with these ear tips are just amazing. I believe that they're as good. I haven't owned the QC20 Bose, but I believe I have tried them, and I have tried them walking around, and they reduce noise fantastically. But I reckon this Sony setup for a tenth of the price is just as good, and certainly better than anything on the market. I think it's a real shame that Sony don't actually ship these earphones with big foam tips like these. They should be able to see the logic. Maybe with some luck they might see this video for the next time they go into planning a new product like this. They might do something like that, because with this current silicone tips that ship with this, that come with this, one, they're very uncomfortable, right? And two, they don't block out as much noise as these big heavy foam tips. Although I much prefer the standard silicone tips if they're nice and comfortable, because I find it's a much cleaner idea and they last, where these tips, these foam tips, do tend to sort of disintegrate over time. But they're cheap enough to buy. Actually, I bought a packet of them for 5 pairs. It was about $10 or something. So that is the story of trying to achieve great noise cancellation and noise isolation. So you can take part in your activity, whatever it is, going to the gym, running, walking, and have wonderful music playing around you, and not have all these other noises of cars and whatnot interrupting. And I really feel I've achieved that with this setup. So there you go. As I say, I'm certainly keeping the Bose because I notice I have used the Bose on a long flight, and very comfortable, but even it gets a bit warm and they do get a bit sweaty around your face, and that you need to take them off. So next time I go on a long flight, I would hope to take the two sets with me and alternate between them. Use these for an hour, and maybe they'll start to, after an hour these might irritate your ears a little bit, so then I take them off, and then I go with the Bose for an hour until they get a bit hot around my ears, and then swap them back and forth. So I think between both sets, it's pretty good. Ultimately, which is better? Well, for the price, it's got to be the Sonys, assuming you've got the Sony phones or tablets, the appropriate ones. Okay, but the Bose, they're like 10 times the price of the Sonys. So, in fact, I got my latest Sony tablet for about, it's a great tablet. I got this for, I don't know what I got it for, about 270 euros I paid for it in a sale. And I paid about 30 for these. So that's 300, and I paid, I got the Bose on sale 269, but they normally sell at 300. So, you can get a tablet and earphones that'll work the system just as well as the Bose, really. And I can tell you, in terms of sound quality, there's nothing between these two. The Sonys sound fantastic. They're the best sounding earphones I've ever had. I will admit I have never had very expensive in-ear earphones. I've never paid any more than, say, 50 euros, right? I haven't had the real top-end stuff. But among the bottom end of the market, I can tell you, these things are just blow me away. I mean, they're just a revelation. The music, even recorded in a studio, music seems to sound sort of live playing through this. But then the Sony player, of course, the Sony phones and tablets have great players in them, and equalizers and all that kind of stuff. That all helps. So there you go, Sony or Bose. Well, keeping them both. I like them both. The weather's getting cold, and I tell you, it's a lovely feeling walking out on a cold day with these on your ears and being able to block out all the sound. And, absolutely great. But in the warmer weather and down the gym, then I use these. And I've actually ordered a new pair of these, the replacements of these, the NC750, which I hope to get tomorrow or the next day in the mail. And they cost me €70, so they're twice the price of these. But just interested to see what they're like, and I will do a review of those, of course. Yeah, so it's been pleasurable. Yeah, the old Bose. Had I come across this system a year ago, I know I knew they were available, but I wasn't really focused on them. Had I been, I probably would have gone with buying these earphones and that tablet for about the same money as the Bose, But now I have the whole lot of them. And, what can you do? So, anything else I can say, really? I'm going to do a review of the Bose on their own at some stage, but I will say that I bought the Bose designed for Apple, with the 3-button remote, and obviously the volume doesn't work on this, only the middle button for taking calls, etc. And when I bought these, the Bose Android version wasn't on the market, It is now. You can actually buy a replacement cable, but there's no point because I can still function. I can still take a call and advance to the next track of the music and all by using the middle button. So if you buy the Android version, you get a little remote that only has one button, which is basically this middle button. So that's the way I read into it anyway. And I know they're good. I mean, I'm very impressed with both systems. Yeah, it's only a shame that Sony don't ship these with some sort of foam tips, because it makes a massive difference. If their own existing silicon tips, little black silicon tips, if they were comfortable, I would have obviously not been looking for this solution. But I'm glad I found this solution, because this really does improve the noise isolation and the noise cancellation. The whole quietness of the effect, is improved with these buds. And when I had these on, they came with the ETY Motic, some of their models. And I remember at the time, this is about 5 years ago, at the time they were rated for great passive isolation and best in the business. And I remember at the time using these with those other headphones, being very impressed with the noise isolation, very impressed indeed. But it didn't have the added advantage of the noise cancellation software, So the combination of these, the isolating tips and the software, the works, the magic, the combination is very good. And they're moving in the right direction. Companies with these noise cancelling and isolating setups, I really wanted to a point where you can go out and about and just hear nothing but your music, okay? Some people argue that could be a bit dangerous, but I'm prepared to take my chances. I haven't been knocked down yet. And there's Guinness, by the way. A lovely drink. Yeah, so that's about it. I'll leave some details in the description box as to where you can get these tips, that kind of thing. Anyway, here's my battery is running low on my phone, so I'm going to sign off and say I've enjoyed this presentation Thanks for listening, and please subscribe and share and like and all the stuff. I'll hopefully make more videos soon.